So a man jumps into the Ask Men Advice subreddit to ask a question. How do men feel about a girlfriend or wife making drastically more money than them? And this is for men's input only, so cool. All right, bet. Let's check it out. He says, if you, a man, makes around $80,000 a year and your girlfriend or wife or person you're romantically involved with made $160,000 a year, how would you feel? Would you despise her for it? Would you say you're okay with it, but down the line you realize that you're not? And for this situation, the woman doesn't belittle or intentionally make the man feel bad for not making more. It's not an issue for her. All right, bet. We got the question. Let's look at some of the answers on the post. Drewski Boski says, I'd be happy AF for her, LOL. Only a toxic person would despise her for it. First Jen says, yep, only answer. My girlfriend makes at least triple what I do, and I'm a high earner. She put in the work in a really demanding field. I couldn't be happier for her. Couldn't be more proud of what she's accomplished and the way she does it. It is simply unbelievable to me. Yay, yay, some men who are out here not being jealous of their ladies. Vivictus says, it's so funny because anytime the reverse comes up, it's successful men would date a cashier if she were an attractive, attentive, and wonderful partner. They would be happy to spend money on her to share life with her. But because people here are so bought into all the pseudoscience of why men and women are different species, they can't seem to realize that women think the same way. I work in nonprofits and regularly date women who make 2 to 3 more times than me. They think my passion for helping people is sexy and noble. Think Preference says it's not pseudoscience that men and women tend to have different priorities when it comes to choosing a partner, and women tend to show hypergamous behavior and men don't. It's pretty well documented stuff. Women who are high earners also tend to prefer men who are even higher earners, so the situation in question is actually pretty rare. Of course, there are exceptions. Doesn't mean the trend isn't clear. It's like the height thing. Most women want to date a man taller than them, and this is still true for tall women. There are certainly men who would feel insecure about this situation, and there are men who specifically want a woman to earn less than them or nothing because it puts them in a position of power in the relationship. But more often than not, these relationships don't happen because women usually aren't interested in men who are considerably below their income level. When a person does all of this talking and he's saying that this isn't pseudoscience, that it's all well documented, documented by whom? They don't really source their information, and it does not seem like these people prefer to ever talk to women. They always want to talk to men, and that's fine. You know, they're in the Ask Men subreddit, and so he's giving this information, and I'm putting information in quotes, but they never share their sources. So where do they even get all of this documentation? And who's doing the documenting? Are women involved at all? I would like to know. Mysterious Detail says, what effing idiot would despise your partner for making a lot of money? General Yamo says, a self-centered, narcissistic man-child. Particular Macaroon says, yeah, quite a lot of men. And to that, Nate's Code says, many women. Divorce rates triple when the wife makes more money. So is he laying it on the women for the divorce rate tripling? Or is there a reason, maybe because the men are insecure and jealous and self-centered, or like a self-centered narcissistic man-child? This man at the bottom says, some women who infantilize men in such a scenario might not realize that it's viewing the man as another dependent child in the household instead of an equal partner that alienated him and thus misidentified the issue, I suppose. But sometimes these men are dependents because they are not pulling their weight as far as the cooking, the cleaning, the emotional labor, the mental labor, all of that, the admin work. So sometimes women are treating men like babies because men are acting like babies, because some of these men don't think that they're supposed to do any of the unpaid labor within the home. Sometimes when they answer these questions, they don't dive deep into it enough. And you can tell that they don't talk to women enough. NJ Golfer says, oh, it's time for this question again. So yeah, it's cool. Her success and my success are both our success. And then to that, John says, this is true for a healthy, loving, and caring long-term relationship. Most relationships are short-lived. Hence, many men feel threatened or less important or replaceable if their current partner makes twice as much as they do. The number one thing most women look for in a man is money or security, stability, being established. So it makes sense why many men would feel this way, sadly. Icy Rope says, if the number one thing women look for in a man is money, then why would she look for someone who makes less than she does? Never mind whether he feels threatened. It's cool that there was a mixed bag in here, but we do know that some of these women are married to their ops, their opsbins. We're trying to combine the word husband and ops. So it's like husbops. No, that didn't really go. Opsbin, that kind of went a little bit better. So some of these women are married to their ops. They're insecure and jealous, and that doesn't really make for a good long-term relationship. So this man, John, when he's talking about this is true for a healthy, long and caring long-term relationship, and most relationships are short-lived, they might feel threatened, and that might, cause the relationships to be short-lived. But maybe if men stopped being so competitive when it came to relationships with women, maybe they could have longer lasting relationships. So that's just my take. All right, I'm going to use this to segue to a post that does not particularly match this, but I'm just going to put it here anyway. This was in the Tinder subreddit. And yes, this could go into a Nightmare Dating Profiles video, but I'm just sticking it here because I want to talk about this post right now. All right, so we got this 35-year-old man who leads with his height, because many of these men make their height their personality. So he's 6'4". He's a blue-collar cat dad. Second shift life, 3 to 11. It's Tinder, ladies. Nothing has changed. You're all just delusional. All of these ladies are delusional. And he's using the wrong "your" right there, of course. Tons of dating apps, but you girls, I can't stand it when men call women girls, but you girls look for a serious relationship on a bang app. Eye roll emoji. Then you bitch that all men want to do is F you. That's a special kind of stupid. He said women are a special kind of stupid on a dating profile. That is what he said. Seeking one single woman who likes to have her cat and peaches ate until she is pleased hard on a consistent basis. I'm clean, take good care of myself, and expect the same in return. Communication is key. So in this, he is insulting women, and he's coming out right and just saying, I just want to bang you and eat you. And then he's leading with his personality. All he got is that he is a 6'4", blue collar cat dad. This is the reason why many of these people deserve to be lonelier. So y'all needed to see that. Finally, let's end with Alex, who's 34. He says he's still figuring out what he wants. He says, about me, kinky is the word. I don't know anymore. Like, does anyone have fun anymore? Really needing a friend. If something comes of it, cool. The world sucks right now, that's for sure. Let's go out and drink, play some pool, have a great time. Then later on, explore our wild sides. No commitment necessary. If you want to sit on my face and never call me again, I'm your guy. Or you can get on your knees. No one has to know. Let's just have some fun without worrying about what people think. Life is too short. So he's lonely. He needs a friend, but also come sit on my face. Are we not seeing and understanding why many of these people are lonely? He's saying you can get on your knees. So he is offering her the opportunity to give him a BJ. This is where they are. These people are not well in the head, but we actually do have a picture of Alex. Here's Alex taking a picture of himself in a bathroom without a shirt. And I am wondering, like, someone's going to see this and be like, yes, this is exactly what I am looking for. Like, there's nothing about this profile that says, sign me up. I want to be his friend and sit on his face and drop to my knees. Especially as appetizing as this bathroom just comes across, like, this is it. All right, y'all. I'm going to end it there. Y'all just needed to see this. Did this match up? Not particularly, but this is where I'm going to end it. Y'all let me know what you think. Like, comment, and share. Real quick, I forgot about this video that I was sent a little while ago. There is this cat dad that was on TikTok, and this is the perfect place to put this. He starts off talking about his cat, and then he starts ranting about women. And it's just like, if he would have just kept it as showing off his cat and, keeping it around that before going off on women, maybe he would attract some women. But go ahead and listen to this video, this rant from this man. These dudes are lonely. They just cannot figure out how to talk to women. So listen to this and tell me what you think of this one.
All right, y'all, just getting home from the gym. Gonna get some love from my son, the usual. Come on, son. Come to dada, son. The usual. Lily, always matching, always the best dressed. Just wanted to show you the tie real quick. This is my son, y'all. Hey, son. This is my son. He lets me rub his belly. Give me my hug. Come on. My hug. After a long day. I love my cat so much. I just want a woman that's gonna love me just like this. If you don't love me how my cat loved me, look at this. Look at this. Hey, son. If you don't love me like my cat loved me, it ain't gonna work. And I'm tired of attractive women, because all y'all want is money. Where's the women that got their own money, but they just want some genuine love? They want a nurturing and caring man that's a protector and a provider that shows emotional support, emotional stability with him and his cat. So it's gonna transfer to you in the relationship, and I'm gonna treat you like a pretty princess and give you whatever you want and love you so much. All you gotta do is love daddy back. Ain't that right, son? Ain't that right, son? So if you don't love me like this, it ain't gonna work. If you feel like you can love me like this, man, hit the inbox, y'all. Hit it in the comments, for real. Single, 33, one son. This is my son. Hey, son, show me your face. And yeah, let's get it, y'all.
So this woman posted in the 4B movement subreddit. She says, apparently it's rude and wrong to not interact with men. She says, I made a recent post on a sub I usually love where I thought I might get some advice on ways to both avoid male interaction in work and social situations and also negative repercussions. It did not go over well. Apparently, many people, it's a women-focused sub, but men sadly can participate, think women should make themselves available to men just because men are out there in the world, and it's rude to avoid interacting with them. Also, I am delusional and must need therapy, and obviously I'm centering men by planning out a strategy for navigating ways to keep myself safe and to keep my job when dealing with future contact. I'm tired. Tired of people telling me how to live and that I'm wrong for my choices. Tired. So I went to her other post. So she posted in the 2X chromosome subreddit. She says, how to decenter men without pissing everyone off. She says, for my own personal reasons, I have decentered men. I choose not to interact with them. This is fine when it comes to rejecting men's advances or choosing to hire female professional help, etc. But how do I deal with everyday life? I can't hide from the world. Men see me chatting, laughing, and being friendly with other women at work, but I'm not interacting this way with them. So I run the risk of men getting angry and making my work life harder. At a party, I'm only going to want to talk to other women. How do I ditch the men who want to engage? If I run into a married acquaintance out with her husband, I don't want to feel compelled to interact with him. I don't want to give him the same experience that I'm giving to her, but I also don't want her to be pissed at me. I run into so many situations where men are just there. I don't want to be rude. I just don't want to interact with them. This is an important personal choice, and I do want to be true to myself, but I also don't want the negative repercussions from my behavior. So how do I live my truth, which is to not interact with men while still living in society? So that is her post in the 2X chromosomes subreddit. So let's just look at a couple of the answers. Valet says, you can decenter men without outright ignoring them. Decentering is about living your life in a way that isn't dependent on men's opinions, not avoiding any and all interaction. No Longer Needed says, decentering is one thing, but avoiding them altogether isn't realistic. Zesty Yam says, girl, not to be rude, but genuinely, how do you expect to get through the day? And then she says, joyfully, without having to give my time, attention, and energy to men. I do not enjoy interacting with them. You see the downvotes right there. Then we got a Mackie says, it seems you want to find a way to let men know you're decentering them without facing the social consequences of being actively rude. This is centering men, just in a different way. You're just now seeking external validation from actively turning men away. I think you need to do more self-work on how centering men has negatively affected you and how to heal that trauma. Creating a reality where men don't exist at all is not realistic, nor does it actually address the root condition. It just excuses you from the self-work that needs to go into decentering. I think that this is just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Whatever reason that this woman wants to avoid men is her issue, but maybe she does have trauma that includes men, and so pulling herself out of that situation might be the work that she's doing to heal herself. We don't know, but I don't like it when people do this armchair diagnosis of people. I think it's quite silly. She responds with, I'm trying to figure out the smartest way to keep them out of my orbit. That's not seeking validation and is actually preventing future grief from unwanted interactions. She still got downvoted on that. So to avoid people, that's how she's going to keep herself happier. But these people are like, nope, this is a trauma response. All right, I just wanted to see what was going on with the other post. I kind of figured it was the 2X chromosome subreddit. Now let's go back over here to the 4B subreddit to see what some of the comments were underneath this post. Alter Skooma Dealer says, men desperately want women to perform for them and make them feel special, and it's so gross. There's a greeter at the grocery store I work at, and I politely asked him to stop trying to touch me. He likes to fist bump men and try to rub on women's shoulders, and he has been so rude to me ever since. It's been like 2 years. He still gives an exaggerated thank you when I do occasionally say hi to him when he says it first. Men just cannot handle women not wanting to entertain them. I'm sorry your post drew so much BS, girl. Jabai says they get a kick out of forcing interaction. Hindsight 2020 says this, it's all a power and control game to them. You're not allowed to own yourself. Caught Dolphin says it's a dominance thing. They're scared of other males, so they learn how to ape, showing respect to the bigger dog or anyone who can support / reinforce them socially. I don't worry about the nasty guys any more than I worry about the nice guys. They're the same critter underneath it all. Soda Cat Cicada says that sucks. It's annoying. It's not even so personal either, even though it can be infuriating or not make any sense, but not surprising that happened, especially on Reddit. I legit can't go to the grocery store without men being offended that I'm not publicly available to them. I usually wear sunglasses during the day, so my eyes aren't bothered. I walk around 99% of the time without headphones on. Recently, I started bringing my over-the-ear headphones to the store. I don't even play music. I just like avoiding sensory overstimulation. So the first time outside wearing headphones, the most universal sign for do not talk to me, some guy taps me on the shoulder, motions with his hands to take off my headphones. I take them off and look at him wondering what he wants. He says, none of those sandwiches are good. Save your money, kid. I would know. I'm like, okay, why did you just waste 3 seconds of my life? Seems silly to complain about, but I don't know what the point of that interaction was. My guess is that he was annoyed I was wearing headphones and sunglasses. Putting out a real obnoxious don't talk to me vibe as a woman is a no-no, and he didn't like it, LOL. Yeah, that is rude. Like, why are you talking to me? I'm just if someone has a universal sign of don't talk to me, why are you talking to her? Proper argument says, I'm sorry that happened to you, but also, what country are you in? I'm in Sweden, and walking up to a stranger to talk, especially at a grocery store, is considered very odd and stigmatized. If a stranger starts talking to you in public, the initial reaction is usually that person is insane until proven otherwise. Right? Because I would be like, what? Why are you talking to me? Soda Cat Cicada says, I am indeed in the U.S. It's definitely normal to talk to strangers in public here. The entitled part was him saying my food choices were bad while I was visibly wearing noise-canceling headphones. And it's all good. I don't care. I'm just using the interaction as an example. Owls Exist says, I'm going to bet the most vocal majority of the people saying it's rude and wrong are men themselves. They don't want women to exclude men, even if they're the ones intentionally being awful. It's part of the reason I'm such a homebody, because there's no men in my immediate room. There's men of my loser brother and my dad living here, but not where I sleep. I don't know what to tell you, but I too have tried to carefully curate my life to minimize the interaction with males at all costs. I mean, using only online for socializing, avoiding men in real life, or if I must interact with them, it has to be in a controlled space, such as transactions, business, shopping, errands, services. But interacting with males outside of necessity, no. And then finally, Significant Gift says, I should have full autonomy to interact with who I want. WTF. And that's what it boils down to. You absolutely do have the right to interact or not interact with whoever you want to. But some people don't like it because men think that you are here to entertain them, even random women at the grocery store. All right, y'all, chime in and let me know what you think about this one. I got this Am I the A-hole post off of Threads, and there are so many red flags. There are so many issues in this post from this woman. There's a man that's weaponizing his illness. He's holding shelter over her head. He's sabotaging her interview. It's just a bunch going on. So let's listen to this post. And obviously, no, she's not the a-hole. She says, am I the a-hole for being exhausted and having enough of the boyfriend's medical issues and his son's autistic issues? I've been living with an old boyfriend after a job loss. I figured I'd go back to work in a few months and he would either send his son back to mom or move his brother in to help. I'm still unemployed and he has turned me into his caretaker as his health keeps getting worse. I'm dealing with daily crying and meltdowns from him over his health. His adult autistic and other issues son can get violent when he doesn't get his way. So my life has become nonstop caregiving and catering to this kid. I pay all the bills, do all the chores, and pay for his kids' wants. My retirement is gone. I'm declaring bankruptcy. If I leave once I get a job, am I the a-hole? Absolutely not. She's at this person's house, and she's caretaking him and paying all the bills, and she's going through her savings to do it. She says, I'm literally listening to him yell about a cramp now. I'm so tired of this. I have severe arthritis and fibromyalgia, and I can barely walk most of the time. Yet I'm stuck taking care of these two because I need a roof over my head. My credit is so bad, I can't even rent something if I have a job. So they are using her lack of shelter to basically make her do all of these things. This is wild, and this is the reason why women need to make sure that they continue to be a good friend and keep their family close if they can. Because I would rather, see if there was any woman I could go to than go back to an old boyfriend. Because these people sound older, the way this man is acting, and he has an adult autistic son. So obviously the man is older, but she also has health issues, and she's having to caretake these people. This is crazy to me, but there's more to this story. This post is a few hours later. She says, I could feel it coming. He's going to sabotage my job interview tomorrow. He's been complaining about feeling bad all day. He's been saying, if this keeps up, I have to go to the ER all day. If he really needed to go to the ER, we would have gone after his son got picked up for a movie, but he had to watch his NFL team. If this mofo waits until an hour before my job interview tomorrow to demand to go to the ER, I'm going to lose my stuff. Every time I have something important, he has a medical crisis. So she lost her job. She moved in with them thinking that she's going to get on her feet and look for a job. But he has sabotaged her each time on purpose because he's like, cool, I got a nurse and a purse. He thought he lucked up. Nothing to see, folks says. So right now, as you're getting ready to go to the interview, if he pulls this ER visit stuff, tell him you will take him, but you need to run to your car for a second. Make sure you have your stuff with you. Get in your car, drive off and call 911 for him. Do not miss the interview. You already know he's going to sabotage it, so plan ahead to mitigate any issues. And then she says, the interview is online for a work from home position. I am disabled and cannot do a job where I have to stand or commute. And then Brunette Dudette says, go to the library and reserve one of the quiet study rooms for your interview. Go there as soon as they open, and if you can't reserve a room, find a quiet corner and do your interview from there. Good luck. And then this is another post. She says, back when I was working in 2023, I had a 3-day work conference. He deliberately ate bad stuff, gave himself a gout flare, and then suddenly couldn't walk. I raced home from the conference, and yes, he's in a gout flare, but he would have been fine. He could get up. And then Llamas in Pajamas says, so he deliberately sabotages his own health to control you. Sounds like you are his emotional hostage. Are you still moving your stuff out and planning to leave him? And then this is another post about another interview she had. She said, I had a job interview scheduled and asked him to stay out of the house until the interview was over. Not only did he come home before the interview, but the city was doing work on our street. So he drove in a hole and caused a huge drama to rattle my nerves before the interview. Then he ranted about me not telling him about the hole while I was in the Zoom meeting. Didn't get the job. These two people say big red flag, both of these people. And here's the whole truth right here. He doesn't want me to go back to work. He wants me to keep taking care of him and his son. So I'm willing to bet he will be feeling so bad, he will ask to go to the ER tomorrow right before my interview is scheduled. If he does, I'm telling him to call 911 for an ambulance or wait until my interview is over. I am almost out of money. I need this job. I've been out of work a year. This can't continue. Cynthia says, leave a few hours early. If he thinks you're leaving at 10, but you're out the door at 8, he can't throw his little emergency party. If he throws it early, drop him at the ER entrance and say you're going to park the car. Park it at the interview. A few hours later, she says, I'm just so exhausted. Yet another breakdown with him crying in the kitchen. He is in severe pain. His legs are very swollen. He can barely walk. I've had it. I screamed at him that he better not sabotage this interview tomorrow. I told him he cannot be yelling or crying in the kitchen while I'm on my video interview in my office. I'm willing to bet he will have a breakdown and expect me to take him to the ER tomorrow. I am not missing my interview, so he will have to wait. I am Sherlock comes in. She says, get out of the house for your interview, so sabotage isn't an option. Get that job, save up your money, and get yourself out of that situation. I've read your old posts. It looks like you are being used, manipulated, and drained by your boyfriend. If you don't want this to be how you live for the rest of your life, you need to take steps to correct your path. Good luck with your interview. You've got this. And that's where we are. Everybody is telling her, but she knows. She knows that she's being sabotaged, and she knows why she's being sabotaged. Abby Jones says, I'm with Sherlock. Please remove yourself from the home for your interview. Turn off your phone and allow your focus to not be interrupted. You got this. We're all behind you. Please know and understand that these people will sabotage you as a form of control. Don't allow this. Find a way to extract yourself. She did say that she's disabled, but like other people are saying, go to a library. I took these screenshots really early in the morning, and I was going to come back and see if she posted about her interview. She has since wiped her page. So this is just basically a cautionary tale at the moment. Many of these people, please know and understand that you need to look out for these people who are looking for a nurse and a purse. This woman unfortunately got to the point where she is being a nurse and a purse, but she can't get a way out if the man keeps sabotaging her. So keep that in mind. Yes, these people might offer you a place to stay, and it might look good, but it could also be a trap. So be aware. All right, y'all, I'm getting off of this one. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and share. And I'm pushing towards 100,000 over on my YouTube page. If you are not following me, go ahead and smash the follow button.
And that's why these dudes don't be bothered with me, because I ain't like y'all. I ain't finna have him up in my house. First 2 days, he already got his drawers and Nintendo Switch up in here. Who house you coming over? No! You don't pay no bills around here, playboy.